2 years ago, James Stradman uploaded a video called Selling My Koenigsegg for this, and almost nobody took it seriously. He was in Dubai, casually comparing his Adra to a Jesco, floating the idea of a swap like a passing thought. It felt like one of those what-if videos you make when things are going well and you're just thinking out loud. But that what if didn't stay a thought. What followed was an entire series of videos. First came the announcement of the sale. Then another where the car was still sitting there, unsold. Then one where he sent it off to Florida on consignment. And finally, months later, the video where it was actually gone. For separate videos just to sell one car. The reason it dragged on that long is where the real story begins. Because owning that car was costing him far more than most people realized, and it came closer to becoming a serious problem than he probably expected when he first pulled the trigger. If you've followed James Stradman for a while, you already know how this started. He didn't come from money. He was into cars the way a lot of people are, mostly from a distance, watching videos, hoping to one day be around them. When he started his channel, it was simple. Basic setup, average lighting, filming whatever cars he could get access to. As the channel grew, so did the cars. He moved from filming other people's vehicles to owning and selling higher-end ones himself. Lamborghinis, a Bugatti Veyron, a Hummer EV. You could track his progress just by looking at what he had parked outside at each stage of his life. And naturally, his goals started growing with it. At some point, he said that by 35, he wanted to own a Koenigsegg. Not a Ferrari. Not a McLaren. A Koenigsegg. That's a very specific target, and an extremely expensive one. Most people didn't expect it to actually happen. But by late 2023, it started to feel like he was genuinely getting close. The car he ended up choosing wasn't just any Koenigsegg. It was the Adra HH, and this one carried a history. Its chassis number is 7099, making it one of the earlier cars Koenigsegg ever produced. It's an Adra S, a model that exists in only a handful of units worldwide, and at the time of purchase, it was the only example of its kind in the United States. The HH's story starts with its original owner, David Heinemeier Hansen, the HH in the name. After that, the car largely disappeared from public view, sitting in storage for years before resurfacing with Houston Crosta, who runs Royalty Exotic Cars in Las Vegas. Houston didn't treat it like a trophy. He drove it properly, took it to events like Monterey Car Week, made modifications, and put real miles on it. By mid-2023, the car was back on the market. Around the same time, Stradman was in the market for something to replace his Bugatti Veyron. He was weighing the usual names at that level: McLaren P1, Ferrari LaFerrari, even the Bugatti Chiron. Instead, he went with Adra HH. In late December 2023, he finally revealed it. Bright pink wrap, filmed like a proper moment. The reaction was immediate: excited, confused, shocked, all at once. It felt like a genuine turning point for the channel. Like he had stepped into a completely different tier. At that point, everything looked like it had gone exactly to plan. What wasn't clear yet was what holding on to that car was actually going to require. A few days after the reveal, James posted another video, and the title said everything: the massive financial consequence of my Koenigsegg. He didn't hold back. He walked through how the deal was structured and what it meant month to month. The number he shared stopped a lot of people mid-scroll. His monthly payment was $35,646. The car wasn't purchased outright. It was structured as a lease, primarily for tax reasons, which is common at that level with high-value assets. But a lease like that changes how ownership actually feels. The cost doesn't sit quietly in the background. It shows up every single month, fixed, whether the car is driven or not. There's no option to hold it, wait for the value to climb, and reassess. The payments are always coming. He admitted in another video, posted on both YouTube and TikTok, that he wasn't fully in a position to buy the car outright, but he also wasn't willing to let the opportunity pass. For him, it was one of those moments. You either take the shot or you don't. He even joked that his entire first-year salary out of college was lower than what he now pays every single month for one car. People reacted exactly how you'd expect. Some found it entertaining. Some were impressed. A lot were just caught off guard by the scale of the number. But once the initial reaction settled, A quieter question started circulating: can he actually sustain this? For a while, it looked like the answer was yes. There were road trips, collabs with major creators, and videos pulling millions of views. The pink Koenigsegg became the centerpiece of the channel, and it genuinely felt like the start of a new chapter. Then the tone shifted. A video appeared titled "The Sad Reality of Koenigsegg Ownership." Then another, "My Koenigsegg Adra broke and needs to be fixed." That shift was hard to ignore. What had started as a dream suddenly felt uncertain. The car had developed mechanical issues. The one that spread everywhere online was a misfire. It got bad enough that the Adra had to be towed, and that moment, a $2 million hypercar sitting on a flatbed circulated quickly on TikTok. Reactions were split between genuine concern and the kind of humor the internet defaults to when things go sideways for someone doing well. While all of this was happening, the car was shipped to Los Angeles for repairs. Around the same time, James sold one of his Lamborghinis. People started connecting the dots. He addressed it directly and said the Lamborghini sale was a straightforward financial decision, not related to the Adra. Most people took him at his word. But the cracks were visible, and the early momentum of the Koenigsegg era had clearly stalled. Before officially listing the car for sale, Stradman explored other ways out. He sat down with Damon Fryer and Dave Coulter from Daily Driven Exotics to discuss a deal. The idea was that he would take their quad-rotor Lamborghini and their manual Murcielago. In return, they would take over the Adra along with its monthly payments. By that point, he had already made roughly 19 of those payments. Damon and Dave weren't dismissive. They were genuinely interested. The Adra was one of the few cars on their list they hadn't yet experienced. For a moment, it looked like something real might come together. But once they got into the specifics, complications surfaced. Insurance and import issues got in the way, and at that level, those aren't small hurdles. The deal fell through. The Adra stayed where it was, and the monthly payments kept coming. By mid-2025, the decision that had been building for the better part of a year started to look final. He listed the Koenigsegg Adra HH for around $3.1 million. The car was also placed through DuPont Registry, where it was positioned not as a standard listing but as a rare collector's opportunity, one of only a handful of Adra S models ever produced, and the only one in the United States. Even after the announcement, it didn't move quickly. In the months that followed, he was still driving it, still filming with it, and still mentioning the sale hadn't closed. Eventually, it went to Florida on consignment. He was upfront that if the right deal didn't happen, it could still come back. Then, in early 2026, it was done. The payment cleared, the new owner was confirmed, and the car stayed in Florida. After multiple videos, several near misses, and more delays than anyone anticipated, the chapter finally closed. Looking back, the math alone tells most of the story. At roughly $35,600 per month, 18 months of payments approaches $650,000, before insurance, repairs, storage, or transport. And during stretches when the car was in a shop in Los Angeles, the payments didn't pause. He was covering a car he couldn't drive, couldn't film, and couldn't use. That's the part that tends to get overlooked. The Adra wasn't just a car, it had become the engine of the channel. When it was unavailable, the content slowed with it. What made people pay close attention wasn't just the financial pressure. It was that he let them see it. The breakdowns, the uncertainty, the deals that didn't work out, the moment the car went on a flatbed, he documented all of it. That transparency is what turned this into something more than just a rich guy buying an expensive car. The Koenigsegg didn't ruin James Stradman, but it came close enough to matter. And the fact that he came through it, stayed honest about the difficult parts, and kept going is ultimately why most people watching are glad he went for it in the first place.